we've got the T20 World Cup coming up in June, I believe, in America and West Indies, which should be fun for us to watch at 2 a.m.
Oh, gosh.
But my concern now sort of revolves around what are our plans going into that World Cup. We have the Afghanistan series that is happening now,
That's it.
and we have the IPL. Now, the BCCI has deemed that enough practice for the World Cup. After, last year they had all these T20 series leading up to the T20 World Cup, and the year before that was the 2022 World Cup. We had so many T20 series, and the year lead up to the ODI World Cup, we had so many ODI series. To just have one Afghanistan 3-match series and an IPL where most of the players won't be playing together in teams. Is this enough? Do you believe we have a chance of winning this? It's really bare bones. I mean, we're talking about people like Hardik Pandya coming back Sky. It's going to be interesting whether we can gel again.
Well, you think that they have a settled team, right? The way that they've organised 0 tournaments apart from Afghanistan for the World Cup. But and you'd also think that, which won't be the case, but if they're doing it just before the IPL, you think Indian players who play well in the IPL will get a chance in the World Cup. They won't. They won't. The team.
This is the problem that we keep on facing with both T20 teams and ODI teams. We play, obviously we have a full strength team and they play and they're good and, they win games. But the problem comes when during the lead up, a lot of these players don't play in those matches. And we saw this in the World Cup final. It was a crucial, very crucial final, and it was a difficult situation. But the fact that we didn't face any difficult situations together, the team, they folded. Now, what do? Virat and Rohit are two seniors that are in the squad. And we talked about players like Rinku Singh. And we talked about players like Shivam Dubey. What happens to them when these two come back?
Well, to be honest, I wasn't really talking about Shivam Dubey until the last match. But and he hit some pretty good shots.
All the young players that have performed over the last 2 months.
Yeah.
Right? Virat and Rohit come back. They're shafted. So what happens?
Well, you've still got people who haven't played. Siraj and Bumrah and Shami still not in there, right?
Yeah.
So players like Mukesh Sharma, Harshdeep Singh, do they get shafted? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is what happened before when they had two separate teams. I think it was just before the World Cup, the one-day World Cup. The one-day team was quite different because all the focus was on T20.
Yeah.
Right? The one-day team was led by Shikhar Dhawan.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the World Cup's coming up and all these players who were in the T20 after losing that World Cup,
they come back.
They all come back into the one-day squad, right? And the same thing's going to happen here.
Yeah. And it's not doing wonders for our team. We don't, when we go into tournaments, we don't have a proper strong 11. Because, I'm sorry, but Rohit, look, we've talked about Rohit before, and he did really well on the World Cup, and I felt like he turned a leaf in terms of his form. But I think it is time to give, at least in T20s, give a chance to a younger guy. Let them lead that. Virat, I still think, has a lot to offer in T20s. It maybe be his final World Cup. But Rohit definitely, I think, needs to give way for a younger person, like an Ishan Kishan. What do you think?
I feel like Virat Kohli wants to win, is it the Champions Trophy in Pakistan? Before he retires. But look, I agree with you. But the problem is with Rohit is that Virat Kohli gets lumped together with Rohit all the time.
Yeah.
So when they talk about retirement or dropping them, they say Rohit and Virat.
They talk about it together.
Yeah. Just after the previous T20 World Cup, they spoke about Rohit and Virat being dropped. Mind you, Virat was India's highest run scorer in that tournament, right? And Rohit didn't do too well. But the talk was Rohit should get dropped with Virat Kohli, which they did.
Yeah. And look, it's now 6 months left. Are we going to properly plan this again, or are we going to do the same thing we've been doing all over again? And a couple of players turn up who haven't played that much with each other, as a team, and then some young players who performed get shafted.
Yeah, to be honest, it's like the weather in Mohali yesterday. Very, very clouded with a lot of doubt and fog, and like no one knows what the squad makeup is going to be. Whether the IPL just before the World Cup is going to be a good thing or a bad thing. Good thing, players could hit form. Bad things, players could get injured as well.
Most likely to get injured, right? We've seen that throughout anything that happens during that IPL. It does affect the series after. The Ben Stokes wasn't available for the Ashes for a little bit, and it does affect it. And really, I think they have to manage the workload in the IPL for us to have any chance, really.
Yeah, and this is going to be in the USA and West Indies. Now, the USA wouldn't have, I don't think, proper pitches as well. I think I think Universe Pakistan is in New York. Yeah. Which I think they have a baseball stadium, right? So I don't know what's going to happen there. They're going to convert it somehow.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting because it'll be a new experience for a lot of the players, I think.
Yeah. All right, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, that's 6 months away, so there's a lot to go there.
And we've got a cousin in America as well. Shout out to Jason. Make sure you attend the matches, Jason. In Nivas Paxton.
I'm sure he knows a lot about cricket. Yes, he's going to attend. Yeah. Shout out Jason. Yeah, shout out.